Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. In this little lesson, I'll be walking you through the steps to paint the English robin with the lily of the valley. It's a really cute bird, and I just decided to sort of ad-lib the background and everything, so I hope you enjoy this lesson. So here, I'm just drawing the robin in using a little burnt sienna. And I'm just kind of sketching in at this point, looking at the different shapes that I see in the reference photo and just sort of doodling away here. I didn't get the legs in long enough, so I had to kind of keep adjusting those. And that's just what happens as your brain warms up. You sort of will start to see where your drawing is off. And then I just started to block in a little bit of the beak and the eye there, just to start to see where I'm at with the positioning of everything. And it also took me a few goes before I could get the eye in the right place. I'm continuing the sketch and still trying to get those feet right. Now I'm just going to start by adding in a little black just to mark out where the beak is and start to build on the drawing a bit. I go over the legs and the eye and the beak with some black just so I can kind of really see that I'm happy with the drawing. For this part of the robin, I am now blocking in with a little bit of burnt sienna, and I'm just sort of looking at on the robin where there's that kind of orangey, yellowy colored feather pattern, and just sort of blocking in. I want the initial layer to be dark like that so that later I can build up the feathers and really add some texture to the bird. For the dark gray feathers that I'm putting in the underpainting for where those lighter white feathers will go and some of the lighter kind of silver feathers that the robin has, I used a mixture of cobalt blue, white, and a little bit of that burnt sienna to mix up a gray. And then I added different amounts of blue and less white to make it a darker mix. For the darker feathers, just mix up burnt sienna, cobalt, and less white, and you'll get sort of this dark blue. Or you could use some Payne's gray, which is a mix of black and ultramarine blue, technically. But I like that gray silver color. It's really easy to make for those feathers. And now I'm just sort of blocking in more of the robin and just adjusting some of the drawing here and there. So now that I've got the robin blocked in, I'm going to begin to start to add some lighter colors to the robin's chest. So I'm using some cad red and some cadmium orange just to kind of make this warmer orange. You can also use orange and some burnt sienna to kind of block in that, reddy orange colored feathers. And some people like the robin to have more of a red chest, so I add a little bit more red to it. You can add some cad red light to really get that to stand out. Here I'm just using some orange and white and a little yellow ochre to get some of those lighter feathers on the robin's chest there and head. Now you'll see I'm adding even more of a highlight to the robin's feathers using a little bit more of a yellow ochre, orange and white mix. Now I'm just mixing up a little bit of white with a tiny bit of that gray mixture just to add some of those lighter feathers that really make up that distinctive robin chest. Here I'm just darkening some of the shadow areas using some burnt sienna and blending it in under the beak where there's some shadow. Here I'm beginning to add some of the background in, and what I used for this mixture was some white and a little bit of turquoise in there, using Cobra brand paint, water mixable oils. And it really helps to have a lighter paint next to the dark area of the bird's beak and everything. It helps it to really stand out. Also, I'm kind of, as you can see, reshaping the body a little bit by painting some of that background in around the bird's head. I mixed up a couple puddles of paint, and another color I mixed up was a little bit of viridian, cobalt, and white, and I made this light green mixture to put in. Also, I mixed some permanent rose and cobalt for this purple shadow that I blocked in. So I mixed up also some white and some permanent rose and a little bit of orange to make this coral pink color. I didn't really have any plan. I just started randomly putting these colors around. So there's really no explanation for it. I just wanted to make it look unique and fun and kind of lively. So those are the colors I decided to block in. And I lightened some of the green around the underbelly and the legs just to show the little legs off a little more. So wherever you want the viewer's eye to go, you create more contrast. So you put a light near a dark. And if you want the tails, for example, in some of my paintings, I don't want it to show up as much. I'll sort of leave it almost the same value as the background. But the head of the bird, where I want you to look, I'll put a higher contrast in. Now that I've got a lot of my background in, I'm going to go back and just add the final details to the robin. So I'm really lightening up his chest with the white. I'm adding some cad red and a little orange to really get that red on the robin's chest. just going back and really adding some higher key values to the bird, just to really show off more feathers and give it more character. So here I'm just putting in the lily of the valley flower using a little bit of sap green and some yellow ochre, just to sort of put that darker underpaint, and then I'll come in with the white petals to really bring it alive. So now that I've got the little stem drawn in there, I'm just adding some of the details to the beak, using a little bit of that gray that I used on the robin's head just to highlight the beak a little bit. And I'll use it to, do some of the work around the eye as well. Now I'm just adding a little bit of that fluff to the edge, sort of loosening up some of the feathers using that little spotter brush. So I just kind of am going around at this point, just softening some of the edges and blending a little with that tiny little brush. So now I'm just adding a little titanium white to complete the lily of the valley. Just going to work some of the detail in using the edge of my brush. Here I'm just finishing up, kind of going around, touching up some of the highlights here and there, and some of the edges you can see. I'm working around the robin, and just you kind of look around and see where you can kind of make those last minute tweaks to your painting. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. This little lesson on painting this cute little English robin. I hope you enjoyed it, and you could follow along in oil or acrylic. And if you like this, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and happy painting.